Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Big Fish Charter Services in Elginak. Experience a world-class muskie fishery on Lake St. Clair for predator fishing, or a once-in-a-lifetime trip on the St. Clair River to tangle with a prehistoric lake sturgeon at Big Fish Charter Services. It's all about big fish.
Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson, and this week we've got a brand new show for you. I'll take you over to Lake St. Clair, where we spent some time with a group of young people that is absolutely amazing. You won't want to miss that, and Jimmy's got some other fun stuff for us this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. We're actually going to try something that I was a little apprehensive about trying, and that is a duck recipe. But we had a good friend of the show, Jim Wood, who's going to show us how to do it. We're also going to stop in with you, the viewer, on this week's show. We have a bragging board segment, and our PBS stations are in pledge this week, so we have a shortened show, just so that you'd be aware of that. Make sure you pledge early and pledge often. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan Out of Doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's the love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By Meijer, a destination for hunting, fishing, and camping. From bug spray and tents to GPS and gas, Meijer has nearly everything you need to take on nature and get you there. Meijer. By Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com.
We all have one. That perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Last week here on Lake St. Clair, a pretty special day was in store for some young anglers. Several classes of special needs students from Grosse Pointe schools arrived here for a much-anticipated day of fishing. This trip has become an annual tradition for the group, and at the center of it all is teacher's assistant Nick Raymond. Nick started taking his students fishing many years ago, and it has grown into quite the outing for students, teachers, and volunteers alike.
Well, we're at the Windmill Point here in Grosse Pointe Park. This is right literally at the mouth of the river behind me, where Detroit River hits Lake St. Clair. And we're trying to time a white bass run, which is tricky to time, but when it's on, it's nonstop action. You know, we had some good smallmouth fishing earlier, but you never do know till you go, right?
That's right.
We set this thing up about 10 years ago with about 10 kids, and now we've got 5 classrooms involved. I think there's close to 50 down here today, so we're real proud of our achievements around here. Well, I had the idea, like I said, about 10 years ago. We had a lot of special needs kids, but not a lot of extracurricular to do, you know, and they have all summer without school. Some of them go to a summer school, but we just wanted to get them out here and share our love for fishing the outdoors with them. Well, we like to stick to the old homage that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. So that's sort of our motto around here.
Well, the fishing started out a little slow, but the kids were connecting with a few pike and smallmouth bass to start out. To tell you the truth, I don't think it mattered what the size or species was. A fish on the end of the line was cause for celebration. Many volunteers were on hand to help out, including the guys from the Downriver Bass Association and David Collins, who's been helping out for quite a few years now.
This will be my 6th year helping out, and we're out here looking for the silver bass. We've been pretty on time every year with them. They pretty much come through Memorial Day every year. And we had a couple of good schools cruising through yesterday, so hopefully they'll be showing up for us, and we'll get everyone on some fish.
You got one! Yeah! Sweet, let me see that thing. Cool. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam. How did you do it?
It was a lot. Took a lot of patience. But then all of a sudden my line suddenly went really tight. I reeled it in as hard as I could.
Good job, man. That's awesome. What are you going to do with it?
Probably chug it back into the ocean, lake where it belongs.
You ready? I'll watch you do it. All right, good job. You going to catch another one?
I might give that a shot.
All right, good luck.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Is this your first time fishing?
Yep.
All right. So what do you think so far?
Not really buying today, so.
No, well, maybe in another hour they'll turn on.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think with this population of children, we work with autism, cognitive impairment. I just think a lot of times their recreation, you know, if they don't have a family that came from a fishing or outdoors family, they really don't get exposed to it too much, which is one of the reasons we started to bring them out here. Well, we've got, like I said, 5 classrooms. Ages are anywhere from 9th grade, so about 15, all the way up to 26. Now, the great state of Michigan is one of the last that allow students with special needs to go to school till they're 26 years old, you know, if they need it. And a lot of them do. So we started a community-based instruction group that are 18 to 26. And that's when we really try and teach them life skills and you know, just skills for living. You know, they've done enough academic work. You know, it's time to get them out in the community working real jobs, and we're real proud of that. Every year, you know, it's one of the most talked about outings we do, and we just love it for it. Not only do they get fresh air, sun on their face, which they're stuck inside a lot, this population of students. And I just think there's such a joy in being connected with nature via a fishing line or hunting, anything like that, even a walk in the park. You're still connected to that part of nature that I think in the city a lot of us don't get an opportunity to do that every day. So.
Here in the shadows of the Detroit skyline, these kids were having an incredible outdoor experience and making memories that will be with them for a lifetime. And probably more importantly, learning a new skill set to get out and enjoy nature. We originally found out about today's fishing event through an email we received from special ed teacher Michael DeCenso, who teaches at Grosse Pointe North High School. Michael has a passion for the outdoors and incorporates it into his classroom whenever he can.
Well, originally we were using your videos to learn about, you know, fishing and nature, and they're just perfect for my students. They like to watch them. They're short. They all have a point to them. And so we got to thinking about this fishing event, and we thought it would be great for you guys to come out and see what these kids are doing and see what they're capable of, because this is a highlight of their year. A lot of these guys kind of get a little bit forgotten sometimes when it comes to sports like this. And sometimes our initial reaction when we told our administrators we were going to go fishing with this group was horror, because of the hooks and the lines and the wind and everything else. But you know, once we got them out here for a couple years and they started to understand the safety part of it, and they started realizing this is absolutely a blast whether you catch fish or not. And it's also a big reunion for these guys. We all meet up, different classrooms, and everybody gets to see each other again. And so it's you know, it's social as much as it is sporting.
A social time indeed. These young anglers were enjoying each other's company as much as they enjoyed battling with those Lake St. Clair bass. One student who seemed to brighten everyone's day in his path was 20-year-old Yarnell Waller. Yarnell caught the very first fish of the day, but I missed it on camera. I caught up with him to see how the rest of his day was going.
I've been looking forward to this all week, first of all. This is my first time fishing. I've never been fishing before in my life. So this is one of the greatest moments ever for me. So when I tell you that this is going to go down in history for me, this is going down. I don't know about anybody else, but for Yarnell Waller, this is going down in history for me. So this is one of the greatest days of my life, and I'll never forget it.
How did you feel when you caught your fish?
Are you kidding me? I had no idea that was going to happen. So I'm like feeling on top of the world right now.
Yeah.
Nothing can ruin my day after that. So.
Awesome. Now, what would you say to other people
maybe with a disability that's going to sit at home watching this on TV and watching you catch a fish and they're scared to come out here and do it, would you tell them to try it?
I would let them know that, first of all, you're looking at somebody that did a zip line last week. I got on the zip line, I climbed the wall, I even rode the horse for the very first time. So you're looking at somebody that pretty much has done it all. And to answer your question, I would let them know that the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever you put your mind to do, you can do. I don't care if you can't talk, you in braces, whatever. You may not even be in a wheelchair. You may not even have a disability to where you have anything, have a wheelchair or braces. It can be up here. Your mind can be telling you you can't do it, but I'm here to let you know that the sky is the limit. If you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to. You can do whatever you want to do.
What a fearless young man. We can all learn a valuable lesson from Yarnell and his classmates. Whatever your disability, where there's a will, there's a way to get outdoors and enjoy this great state. And if you're fortunate enough to do so, on your next outdoor adventure, make sure you invite someone along who may not otherwise get to experience this wonderful blessing we call Michigan's Out of Doors.
All right, well, we are once again here at Antlers Fireside Grill, Canadian Lakes area. Jim Wood is our chef extraordinaire, and today we're gonna try something that kind of, to be honest, kind of scares me. It's duck, and to be honest, when I do duck, I cube it up, I deep fry it, put it in some sort of dipping sauce. You said that's not a good way to do it. What are you gonna do to duck today, and why is it scary for people to cook duck?
It's unapproachable because they've eaten it somewhere where it was overcooked.
Okay.
And with any game, when you overcook it, you get that what is compared to a livery taste.
Okay.
So you just gotta, just don't overcook it. Don't be afraid. You're not gonna die. Well, actually, don't take that to the bank. I didn't say that.
If I'm cooking, I think we're fine with you.
Yes.
So now, when you have a duck breast, if you buy one at the store or you have wild, is there much difference between a wild duck and a store-bought one?
A wild duck's going to have a much more profound flavor.
Okay.
Not nearly as much fat content on it.
Okay, so when you say profound, does that mean it's not as good, or is it
no,
just
it's
more
better. In my opinion, they're a lot better.
Oh,
A wild duck is. It's just got it's much deep, more intense flavor than a store-bought duck.
So what are we going to do here? How do we start this dish? And what is this called?
This is duck a la orange.
A la orange.
So I don't have enough time to show you the entire recipe. So it's online.
Okay.
It's not hard, but it's online.
Gotcha.
So anyway, we're going to start with our pan. We're going to add a little bit of oil because of the fat content on duck, as long as you leave the skin on. So if you are a duck hunter, please pluck the bird.
Oh, okay.
The skin is where, if there's any fat at all, that's where the fat's going to be.
Okay, so that's a good tip.
So here we've actually scored it a little bit.
Okay.
Once again, it's going to help it get crispy. We're going to salt the first side, salt the next side.
And you're just pan frying it like that, eh?
Yep. Now on duck, you don't want the pan to be super hot because you're trying to render all that fat out of it.
Okay. So now how long would you...
Well, it all depends on how big of the duck is. So if it's a big, mallard breast,
yeah,
a couple minutes on each side maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're looking to finish it all the way through, or
Yeah, you're going to cook it completely right here in one pan.
Not putting it in the oven or anything. Okay.
Nope. I mean, if it's a really big breast, you might need to do that, and that's actually easier to control it that way.
Okay.
But this one, you can see it's not that big. We can finish this all in one pan.
Perfect.
So just like you would with fish, you're looking for it to come up about 3/4 of the way. You'll see the muscle starts to change color where it's cooking, and that's kind of how you can tell.
Okay. Now, how come when you're doing this, the meat that you cook never seems to stick to the pan? A lot of times when I do it, it sticks to the pan. Is that because I just have it too hot?
There could be a lot of different reasons.
Okay. Not paying attention.
That could be one of them. You don't want to touch anything in the pan until it's had time for the fat to release, because that's what's going to make you be able to physically flip it over. Could be you don't have enough fat in the pan. So something like a skinless walleye, for instance, you want a fair amount of fat in it in order to flip it, and you don't want to touch it. When it hits the pan, don't touch it.
Okay.
Let it go.
Yeah, because I'm always messing around with it and checking it.
You don't need to do that.
Okay.
Nope. So once it starts to kind of release some fat, you can start basting the top. And once again, here all you're trying to do is just keep that meat moist during the cooking process. All right, so once you've cooked it for, you know, half to 3/4, then you're going to give it a flip.
Okay, and you start with the skin side,
Down.
the fat side down.
Yep,
Okay.
and you can see it's super crispy right now.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want. Gives it a different texture component.
So Jim, we've got the duck now pretty much finished off. What's our next step here?
Yep. All right. So this is Grand Marnier, which is essentially like kind of an orange flavored cognac.
Okay.
So the duck's out of the pan. We're going to deglaze it.
Whoa. And what does that do there by lighting it on fire? Just
you're essentially burning off not all of the alcohol, but a good chunk of the alcohol. So you're getting rid of the alcohol flavor.
Okay.
So you're going to let that reduce down. Now here we have, this is duck stock that I made here in the restaurant. So
okay.
Save your carcasses.
Oh,
because
okay.
you can do things with them. You want to use the entire animal. So the recipe for this is online. You can also use chicken stock.
Okay, so you could substitute that.
Absolutely.
Well, like Jim said, you can use chicken stock for the base of this. It is important to realize that he did add orange juice and a few other ingredients, which we do have on our website. Once that is thickened up, you are ready to go ahead and thinly slice your duck. And then when it comes to the mashed potato base for this, Jim says to use your favorite mashed potato recipe, but do add some white cheddar and then a little bit of Parmesan, and you are ready to go ahead and plate your dish.
Take your duck, kind of fan it out there.
Wow.
You're going to go around the plate. And then I always give just a little bit right over top.
Okay.
And there you have it. Duck a la orange.
Well, I have to say, when it comes to duck, I am a little apprehensive. But this recipe was pretty easy and tasted great. It might be something you want to try this season. Check out our website for all the information.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online when you get a chance. You can do it a couple of different ways on our website at michiganoutofdoorstv.com or on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. We'll be on Facebook every few days letting you know where we are and where we're headed next. And we do have a lot of summertime fun in store for you on the show here. We'll be out on Lake St. Clair again. We'll be chasing after walleyes in one episode and muskies in another one. All kinds of summertime fun headed your way.
Well, there is a lot happening here in the state of Michigan over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you're getting out and enjoying all the different things. And if you're looking for something fun to do over the next couple of weekends, June 17th through the 19th up at Boyne Mountain, there's going to be a really cool event called the Total Archery Challenge. And you can learn more about it at totalarcherychallenge.com. They're going to start at the top of Boyne Mountain. And it's an archery event. You're going to shoot your way down the mountain with over 100 targets, lots of different courses. More than 500 people are going to be there. Prime Archery is going to be there, G5, boning archery, lots of folks that are going to be there. It should be a lot of fun. Our own Jordan Brown is going to be there with camera rolling. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend and you're in the Lansing area, our friends at American Fish Rodeo are having a big fishing tournament on the Grand River. You can check out their website for more information, and that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So much happening around the state of Michigan. Make sure that you are getting out and enjoying what our great state has to offer. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By Vanguard, a global manufacturer based in Michigan featuring rifle scopes, binoculars, and spotting scopes with lifetime warranties. Vanguard supplies sporting optics and accessories for the outdoor enthusiast online at vanguardworld.com. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. Closed captioning is provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Gretzinger from Michigan Out of Doors Television, and our PBS stations are going into pledge this time of the year. And what does that mean for us? Well, that means that we get to speak to you, the viewer, directly. And tonight we're speaking to you, the viewers in the Upper Peninsula, watching on WNMU. Now, we know that there are sportsmen and women all around the state of Michigan, but there is just something special about the folks of the Upper Peninsula. And why? Well, because you love to hunt and fish and trap and love the shooting sports maybe more than anybody else across the state of Michigan. And those of us that live in southern Michigan and lower peninsula wish we could spend more time in the Upper Peninsula. But we're asking you to go to those phones and make a pledge of support, because what you're doing when you do that is you're telling the folks at WNMU that you want to continue to see hunting, fishing, trapping, the shooting sports. You want to see that highlighted on a primetime slot on Thursday nights and then again on the weekend. And when you make that pledge of support, the money doesn't go to us here at Michigan Out of Doors. It stays right there at public television so that they continue to support the kind of programs that we want to do. There's nowhere else, no other channel that we could go, and it would just be, the cost would be too astronomical for us to put this show on a primetime slot on any other night of the week. PBS is a great home for Michigan Out of Doors and has been for years and years and years. It gives us a chance to do 52 shows a year, travel the state of Michigan, and tell your story. And so we're asking you to go to those phones, make a pledge of support, whether that's $1, $5, or $500, whatever you can do. It goes a long way. Every dollar, every call is a vote for the outdoors. And we know that you in the Upper Peninsula love the outdoors. And so we're asking you to make that pledge of support. And really this goes all the way back to the early 1950s with Morton F., Jerry Geppetta, Fred Trost, Bob Garner, all those that went before. We're just the current day version of Michigan Out of Doors, trying to tell the story of the sportsmen and women. And hunting and fishing, you know, it's not that popular in parts of the country. It is popular here in the state of Michigan, and it's important for us as outdoors men and women to make sure that we have hunting and fishing on in a primetime slot, getting it out in front of the people that don't have the same kind of outdoor background that we do. So we thank you for the pledge of support you've made over the years. We thank you for what you're doing tonight. And if you do your part, we'll do our part. And I tell you what, if we do all of that, we'll be able to see you right back here next week on your PBS station.